Y'all, I love Mexican food, and one of my most favorite tacos is tacos al pastor. Also, when I go to that taco stand, if they got a torta on the menu, I'm getting a torta. Today, I want to do a torta al pastor on the Blackstone Griddle. It's going to be some good groceries, y'all. That's some good groceries. First thing we got to do, y'all, we got to get this marinade going for our al pastor. And it starts with getting some chilies ready, y'all. This is 2 pasilla chilies, and this is 2 ancho chilies. And what you want to do is you want to lop off those stems, and we want to de-seed these things. You can leave some of the seeds in. I prefer no seeds personally. We're going to take these over to a pan that we've pre-warmed this Blackstone on, and we just want to toast these up a little bit. Just that little bit of a toast really brings out some of the natural oils of those peppers. All right, now to our pan, we're going to add some chicken broth. This is just no salt added chicken broth. I like using chicken broth for rehydrating my peppers. It just gives it another flavor element instead of water. So that immediately kind of comes to a boil. You can see the chicken broth kind of changes color here. That's from those peppers. If you could really smell it, if I had to describe it like a mahogany, the heat just kind of warms those chilies up. It's kind of leathery. It's really, really awesome. All right, so our peppers, we're not going to let them sit in here very long. We're going to stick these into our blender jar. Also, we're going to take this liquid. I want to push these down into that liquid. I just want to make sure it's nice and hydrated because we got some other really nice things coming into this marinade. We're going to put the lid on. It helps rehydrate, helps cook things a little bit more. We're going to let this chill out just for a little bit. All right, now to our pan. It is dry now, and we're going to come in and we're going to add our aromatics. And what we're going to do is we're going to bloom these aromatics in this oil that we have. So we got some Mexican oregano, about 1 teaspoon. We got some cumin, about 1 teaspoon. Man, can you smell that cumin? And now we're going to add about 1 tablespoon of this achote. And that's what gives al pastor a really deep red color. You heard me talk about blooming, and what that really means is you're just kind of cooking the spices, and that brings a really, really nice element to any dish. It's always a good idea to bloom your spices up really well before cooking them in your sauces. Just adds a nice element. There we go. Look at that. That's going to be pretty awesome. We're just going to bring that off of our heat over here and to this sauce. This is chipotle with some adobo sauce and 1 pepper. Just going to mix that around. We're going to add a little bit of garlic. Actually, a good amount of garlic. To this, we're going to add about 1/4 cup of, this is apple cider vinegar. Just going to mix that up real good. Smell, y'all. The smell is amazing. Look at that sauce. And to this, we're going to add a little bit of sugar. This is turbinado sugar. The reason I kind of use turbinado is we're going to put this is eventually going to be onto the griddle. It don't burn quite as fast. It's got a little bit higher smoke temp. So our chilies, they've been resting over there. They've just been hanging out. They're loosey-goosey, waiting for the sauce. So we're going to take our sauce that we just made. Let's give these chilies a little bath here. Boy, I'd like to have a bath of this right now. The smell is amazing. Dang it, I've said that I don't know how many times. We got all of our deliciousnesses here, y'all. And now, it's time to blend. We're gonna bring this over to our handy dandy blender, and we're gonna blend it. Woo! We're done. Man, would you look at this. Oh man, it smells good. We need salt, y'all. Forgot about salt. Add you in a good little pinch of salt, about 1 teaspoon. Probably actually a little bit more, maybe about 2 teaspoons, because we're going to put this on pork, and it's going to need some salt. We're going to blend this back up. Look at that beautiful, beautiful al pastor sauce. Let's give it a try. Oh, it's deep. It's rich. Those dried chilies, rehydrated. A little bit of a burn back there, probably from those chipotles. Man, that's going to be good, y'all. Now it's time to get our meat marinated. Now, traditional al pastor, they do thin slices of pork shoulder, pork butt. Well, I wanted to maybe switch it up just a little bit. Now, again, this isn't traditional. Please don't flame me. But I thought, why not some ground pork? I just feel it would do very well. Kind of like a chopped cheese, if you will. We got 1 pound of ground pork here, and we're going to take some of our marinade maybe 3 or 4 good globs. And we're just gonna work that into our brown pork. We're gonna let this pork just hang out for a couple minutes, 15 minutes or so. Feel free to do it overnight. I'm sure it would be great, probably really intensify. We're gonna set it back there. We got a few other things we gotta get prepped. All right, to get ready, we need to get our condiments ready. And the condiments of choice, typically with al pastor, just some white onions and some cilantro. Last but not least, pineapple. We gotta have some pineapple for the al pastor. So I got a nice ripe pineapple here, and we're gonna just cut this down. I like to just kind of run my knife down the sides. If you got one of those fancy pineapple cores, feel free to use that if you want. After I get the sides skint, come down the middle just like that, and then I'll come down the middle again of those, and that exposes this core. That way you can just take your knife, just kind of come down, and that takes the core out. We got all of our quarters here. I break it down just a little bit more. So I just kind of split that in half. So that way that gets a nice contact patch onto the griddle. Now some of y'all probably have a question. Hussey, you said a torta. What's a torta? Well, I'm glad you asked. A torta is basically just like a bun. And it's common in Mexico. And the cool thing is just down the road here from me, I have a Mexican bakery. And I went and bought these fresh. How cool is that? So it's kind of like a flatbread, but man, whenever I go to like a taco truck or whatever, they got a torta, I'm getting the torta. It really, really is so good. So these are not cut, so we just need to do that ourselves. No big deal. There we go. Look at that. Look at those nooks and crannies. Man, that al pastor, it's gonna go in there. It's gonna be good. We have our griddle pre-warmed, and we got our pork here. We got 4 tortas, and I'm gonna try and make 4 things of pork, just like that. As soon as it hits the griddle, the smell is amazing. While our pork's cooking, we're gonna get our pineapple down onto the griddle. We want it to get some char also. After our meat's kind of gotten this crust around the edges, you can kind of see it right here. Let's flip that over. Let's cook it on this other side. We'll let that go for another about 2 to 3 minutes. Also, it's time to flip our pineapple, and we're gonna just flip it here, cook it on this other side again. We're just looking for a nice char on our pineapple. Once the pork is looking good on this other side, we're gonna take a little bit more of this al pastor sauce, put it on each patty. We're just gonna work that in, just like this. All right, so our meat is ready, and now I'm gonna do something that's not quite traditional, but I just think it'll add a really nice element. We're gonna add a little bit of quesadilla cheese to our pork. It's gonna be all kinds of gooey, ooey, gooey, just good stuff. Now, we're gonna take our torta. We're gonna lay it on each one of our piles. All right, once it gets nice, ooey, gooey, just like this right here, we are going to get these off of the griddle. And man, oh man, look at this. That is a beautiful sight, beautiful. Let's get this over on the cutting board. Our tops are over here, they just hanging out. I wanna get a little bit of a crust on those tops, so we're just gonna flip those over. I'm gonna go right on to where that pork was. Maybe it'll get a little bit of that flavor, a little bit of the oil from the pork and from the sauce. Okay, those tops, they are done. Let's put these over on our cutting board. Some of our pineapple, man, look at that right there. That's exactly what we want. I'm gonna bring it over to our cutting board. It's nice, soft, luscious, like me. And I'm just gonna run my knife, just kind of willy-nilly through this pineapple. Dang it, boys and girls. Woohoo! All right, now we're just gonna put some of this pineapple onto our torta. Oh man alive. Boy, that's gonna be good. Last but not least, y'all, is our condiments. This is that cilantro. This is that onion that we did earlier. Now, put the tops on these dudes. Make them look pretty. Don't know when the Andersons might be coming by. All right, guys, hey, let's give this a slice. See how we did. Man, it's so soft, so pillowy. Boy, look at that. I want to take a little bit of our Herdez Verde salsa, put on there. Woo, doggies. Let's give it a try. Oh, man. That al pastor sauce, marinade, so beautiful. Warm, pineapple's lovely. A little creaminess from that cheese. Dang it, boy. Y'all, this is a slam dunk. Hey, y'all, hey, I appreciate you watching. Hey, head on over to the Blackstone Network where you'll find other awesome videos just like this. Hey, I'm Matt Hussey, and that's some good groceries.